Welcome back to Keystone MR, and like we said yesterday in our podcast, today's the video that we're going to give you all the news updates on what's been happening in the past week. We got some trade deadline in the NHL coming up. We had Duke last week going down in their own barn against North Carolina. We have Robert Kraft to talk about. A lot's been going on with him and the Patriots organization. Nick, let's jump right into it. Let's start with the NHL trade deadline. Lots of stuff has been happening, especially with your Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, big deals inside the Keystone State with both the Penguins and Flyers. Penguins with a small little deal with the Canucks. Uh, Eric Gubbertson goes to Pittsburgh, and Tanner Pearson joins Vancouver. So that happened about a half an hour ago, and that's a smaller deal for the Pens here on the deadline, but that happened. And the Flyers had a big deal with the Predators. Wayne Simmons goes to Nashville, and the Flyers get Ryan Hartman, who has 20 points this year, 10 goals, 10 assists, and they get a conditional fourth-round pick. If the Predators win one playoff series this upcoming year, the Flyers will make that a third-round draft pick. So Flyers made a deal also. Obviously, those are the two big deals here in the Keystone State, but there were some other deals outside of the Keystone State. The Wild and Predators made a deal just a half an hour ago. Kevin Fiala going to the Wild, and Michael Granlund going to the Predators. Make a big swap, interdivision swap before the deadline. And then the Bruins and the Devils, the Bruins get Marcus Johansson for a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick. The Bruins have added some nice key pieces up front prior to the deadline with Charlie Coyle and Marcus Johansson. The Avalanche get Derek Brassard from the Panthers for a third-round pick. The Avalanche getting deeper offensively there by acquiring Derek Brassard, who I believe was traded from the Pittsburgh Penguins to the Florida Panthers and is now being traded for the second time this year to Colorado. So that's obviously a big deal. Kevin Hayes, a big name from the Rangers, goes to Winnipeg for a first-round pick. Brendan Lemieux and a conditional fourth-round pick. This was kind of like the first big move of the day. We also had Keith Kinnickad go for a fifth-round pick. Blue Jays making a lot of moves so far with Dzingel the other day. And then the first pick of the day was technically around midnight last night with Gustav Nyquist going for a second-round pick and a conditional third.
Yeah, and these are picks that for make or break teams like the Penguins and like the Flyers. With these picks, with Wayne Simmons going down to Nashville, this could be the deal that they make. That could be their blockbuster. That could change everything for this team and maybe make a push for the playoffs. Because both teams are right now out of the playoff hunt, so it's going to be very interesting to see what this deal does, what all these deals have done, and what if they will help this team, or will it be a big bust and a huge mistake for each team. And I don't think they will be. I think trading Wayne Simmons was a good idea. Especially for me because I hate his ass and I can't stand him. So now we don't have to see him anymore. That's good for the NHL. Let's moving on. We're just gonna go quickly here into the college basketball realm. We have a new number one here at the top in the top 25. Gonzaga now has moved up to number one, while Duke moved down 2 spots to number 3. UVA at 2. Kentucky moved up to 4. UNC moved to 5. Michigan State, Tennessee, Houston, Michigan, Marquette, Texas Tech, Nevada, LSU, Purdue, Kansas, Kansas State, Maryland, Florida State, Wisconsin, Virginia, Buffalo, Iowa, Cincinnati, WOF, and Washington. All
WOF is Wofford.
Wofford, yeah. I've never really heard of them. But yeah, that's your new top 25. Dropped out Villanova, Louisville, and Iowa State all with losses this week. Iowa State had 2 losses. Both are very inferior teams. But yes, Duke, that was the biggest game that we probably all have heard of. Duke played UNC, their rival, and their own barn, losing that game because earlier in the game, probably in the opening minutes, Zion Williamson went down with a knee injury as his shoe popped off, or the sole of his shoe popped off. And Nick, I'm going to be honest with you, I've heard so many rumors regarding Zion, whether he's going to be out for the whole season, he's going to come back, or he's going to be back but sit out because he wants to go to the draft. What's your latest on him?
So I obviously I'm not an insider or anything, so I don't have any news. But I would assume he's probably back tomorrow night. They're going down to Blacksburg, a big game against Vodtech. That without him, he's a nail biter. With him, this could easily be a 10-point game win for Duke. So I think he needs to come back. I think he knows. He said earlier this year he wants to be with this team to win a national championship. And also, this could just be my personal opinion. but I honestly do not think this kid is going to be the superstar that everybody's hyping him up to be in the NBA. Right now, he's amazing. He's great in college, and I think he is going to be great in college. But I just don't see that translating to the NBA. I honestly don't think that his game will translate to the NBA. He's only like 6'10", contrary to popular belief. But I think he's like 7'2". No, he's like 6'9", 6'10". And he's obviously a really strong guy. I just don't think he translates to the NBA. But if he's in New York next year, I'm definitely going to want to go check him out.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And yeah, they lost 88-72 in their own barn to North Carolina. Number 8 North Carolina, that's now number 5, jumped up a lot. They were able to defeat Syracuse, but Syracuse is a very injured little team. They haven't got their things together, and they're not ranked. They beat them only by 10. And yes, like you said, they're playing Vodtech tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. But yet again, Vodtech, that's a home game for Vodtech, so that's going to be very interesting. If they don't have Zion Williams playing, that could be a very nail-biter game, potentially even losing that game, which will put him in jeopardy for not having a number 1 spot in the tournament. And I know Selection Sunday is just about under 3 weeks to go until we have Selection Sunday.
And obviously, beating that Syracuse program, that was a big game for both schools. Duke coming off the Zion Williams injury, and Jim Boeheim with the terrible accident that happened, I believe, last Thursday or last Wednesday night. Terrible accident happened there in Syracuse. Accidentally ran over a guy, killed him. And that was his first game back on the court. He didn't miss any games, but that was Syracuse's first game since the accident. So that was obviously a big deal.
Yeah, and it'll be very interesting now because between Gonzaga, UVA, Kentucky can now be the South, or they could be the Midwest probably as number 1 seed, as Duke would probably get the East, and Virginia gets the South, and Gonzaga would obviously get the West. UNC is creeping in there. They moved up 3 spots. Michigan State moved up 4. Nevada went down 6. Kansas State and Maryland also all went up 7 spots. And Florida State, it's a 21-6 record. Are they pretending to be up in the top 25? Are they at 21-6 really not as good as we think?
You're talking about Florida State, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Florida State's a weird team because when they were out of conference, they had all these. We looked at them at the beginning of the season. We thought they were really good. They beat Florida. They beat LSU. They beat Purdue. So they beat UConn. So there were some big wins here. And then they get into conference play, and everything just kind of stopped happening. They lost to Pittsburgh. They lost to BC. Who else they lose to? That's it. Okay, but they lost those 2 games, and everybody thought it was over. But now, and they lost to UNC on Saturday. But that's fair. It's UNC. They got a big game tonight against Notre Dame. I get it. Notre Dame not having the best year. It's still Notre Dame. It's still an ACC team. It's still a big game at home. They should win this game by 10 points, okay? They're coming off a rough loss to UNC. But before that loss to UNC, they were really rattling something off. They beat Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Louisville, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Clemson. So this is a big game for them against Notre Dame because after this Notre Dame game, they have only 3 games left in the whole season. They have 3 games in March for whatever reason are not pulling up on here. But they have 3 games in March after this Notre Dame game. So they don't have many games left to get a good seed in the ACC tournament. So they need to, really pick it up here.
Yeah, Notre Dame is tonight at 7 o'clock. Kansas State, another big game at Kansas. And Kansas has always been great at home at their own barn. But Kansas State's coming to town. Iowa State is also playing home. They need to step it up as they're at 19-8 with against Oklahoma. But right now, Kansas State number 1 in the Big 12. You got Texas Tech number 2, Kansas. Baylor, surprisingly, Iowa State, Texas, TCU, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. West Virginia has done really well, especially with Bob Huggins. They've normally been a good program. So this will be very interesting because Kansas wants to be high in the rankings. They definitely don't want to be a 3 or 4 seed right now. And as of right now, Iowa State would be a 5 or 6 seed. So that would be detrimental to them because they always want to be the top seeds. And they've been high always, but they've always lost to the inferior teams. And that's going to be the problem with Iowa State coming down the stretch. But they're young. They're a young team. And I think as time goes on, I think they're going to get better. And this is going to be a team that come 2-3 years is going to be very dangerous, especially in the Big 12. That's very good. Normally a very good Big 12. I know the bottom couple teams only won 2 to 3 games, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this Iowa State team matches up in the next couple of years. Moving on from college basketball, spring training action already started. Starts a little earlier this year, as we have today. Pittsburgh, they're 3-0. They beat Boston 4-3. The reason why I'm talking about this right now is this is a team that their young guys have stepped up big. Jung Ho Gung hasn't played a game in like 2 years or something like that in America. And yesterday he got his first start and he hit 2 homers. But combined third baseman yesterday for the Pirates went 4 for 5 with 4 homers and a couple and like 8 RBIs. So this is a boss. This is a not a Boston team. Sorry, this is a Pirates team that can go really deep in depth charts and rotations. And these guys find ways to win because they came back 3-1 yet today, and they came back scoring 4 runs in the last inning and hit a walk-off grand slam. So this is a very good Pirates team. Now I know it's only spring training, and I know this is, you don't start your best players, but it's definitely a look into the future to see. Hey, maybe this Pirates team, don't count them out. Yeah, like I said yesterday, their rotation's young, they're healthy, and I think the good thing is what we're doing right now is we're trying out different positions. We had Francisco Cervelli playing first base today, which is something you don't normally see. You have Josh Bell playing like center field. He was taking center field reps today. I'm not saying that's going to be their final spots, but that may not help. That may not hurt to have Francisco Cervelli play first base when he needs a rest day, but he also needs to hit. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this Pirates team with their final 40-man rosters and what it's going to be going down. Nick, do you have anything to say on the MLB right now?
Well, the Phillies played today. They beat the Tigers 12-7. The Tigers were split up. They had a split squad. The Tigers also had a game at the Cardinals, which they tied because I guess there's no extra innings in spring training. But we beat them 12-7 in Clearwater, and we play tomorrow against obviously the Yankees, the biggest team in the MLB, and Martinero Tanaka will be on the mound for that one. So that's gonna be big for the Phillies, and the Pirates go out to Fort Myers tomorrow to take on the Twins.
Yeah, those pitching matchups are still unknown. Tomorrow, Adam Wainwright will get his first start on the mound tomorrow afternoon. He hasn't pitched well for the past couple of years. He hasn't been the Adam Wainwright team player that we've seen in a while. So this will be great to see if he can get out on the right foot. But today was a good game between. I'm trying to figure out. I think it was hold on. Yep, Astros and Mets. They tied at 3 today, but it was Verlander versus Syndergaard, two teams that have played really well. And I'm trying to find the box score for this game, see how both teams did. Not with the Yankees. I'm sorry. Hold on, give me a minute. But this is something we don't really see in spring training. Verlander went 2 innings, 1 strikeout, very easy. Same with Syndergaard. He went 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. So very dominant power, only 2 innings, but right now it's looking great for both teams. Probably moving into the bulk of our weekly news right now. Coming out, I don't remember when it was. I think last Friday or something. Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots and the New England Revolution MLS team, has been charged on 2 counts of first-degree solicitation and prostitution during the AFC Championship. This all went down. Nick, what are your first thoughts when you heard this?
I kind of thought there's no way this 77-year-old man, is having sex with a prostitute, so he must be paying for other people. And I think that's what's actually going on here. I don't think he's actually doing any of the acts of prostitution. I think he's just paying these people to do prostitution for other friends. I don't know, friends and family. I have no idea. But I think he's probably just a part of the act. He's actually probably just like a helper. He's probably actually helping the prostitutes bring in customers and stuff. Funny enough, he's probably marketing for them and stuff like that. I don't think he's obviously doing any of the acts of prostitution because that's
okay. So that's what everyone has thought. That's what I've thought, and everyone's like, okay, well, we need to wait to see if there's a video, if with a videotaped, anything's happened. But it actually turned out to be a video. Official documents said that Kraft arrived on the Asian spa about 11 a.m. on January 20th, and he was videotaped receiving oral and manual sex from a woman in the spa in Jupiter, in Florida. He said he gave a $100 bill and another bill before leaving at 11:15. This was the day of the championship game for the Chiefs and the New England Patriots. So there is video evidence of Robert Kraft doing prostitution. So now he can be officially charged with prostitution. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, this is obviously a crazy story that we were not expecting to hear. I think we were expecting this to be a quiet entry into the offseason, and now this is obviously a huge story for the NFL.
Yeah, and I think what is this gonna do for the Patriots? Well, I think it's not gonna affect Belichick much, as anyone knows Belichick. He knows he's pretty calm, he's straightforward. He knows the stuff. He's not gonna really speak out. But one thing I'm really interested to see on how Brady reacts to this, because if anyone knows sports or anyone knows the Patriots, we know that Brady and Kraft are like a father-son relationship. That's how they're really close together. So I want to see how Brady handles this, especially with the media going to his house or going to his off-season workout and asking him all these questions about Kraft. Obviously, he'll talk about Kraft in a high manner, but it's very interesting to see what Brady does concerning Kraft, because no one thought this was true until the video came out, and we had to have seen the video before we could prosecute him. And just no one would think a 77-year-old would do something like this, especially if they're rich and they're owner of two teams. So very, very surprising. And it's very. I'm just dumbfounded at what I heard and what I've been reading for the past couple of days.
Yeah, this is obviously a crazy story that again, obviously no one was expecting, and I don't really know what to say about this even.
Yeah, it's nothing really. This to give you guys like an update or some news about it. Authorities investigated the parlors for months, gathering evidence, so they knew for a while. Judges issued a search warrant and installed cameras, and then they saw obviously what happened. There's um, news conference from Kraft to the larger issue of there was no human trafficking, which was good, but obviously there was videos, which now he's gonna get charged. I don't think will he go to jail. I don't know. Um, he could face 1 year in jail and a $5,000 fine and 100 hours of community service and attendance in human trafficking dangerous class. So, very rough stuff for Kraft, and especially for the whole New England Patriots organization, because this is what you're leaving. This is your imprint on the Patriots, which is going to be a major blow. So more quickly staying in the NFL, there's been rumors about Le'Veon Bell flirting with the Eagles. Hopefully he doesn't go there. Russell Wilson says he wants to go to New York to play for the Giants. Apparently he doesn't like in Seattle, which I am really surprised he doesn't like in Seattle.
I don't blame him. Le'Veon Bell's a big market guy. Seattle's a totally small market. It's not, Le'Veon worthy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, he's now a free agent, both Le'Veon and Russell Wilson, so we'll see what goes on there. Look, I'm just trying to see what other news we have for you guys, because we had a lot that might be it, yeah. Kraft, we have the Seattle hockey team, stuff.
Very old news.
Very old news. No, just about the expansion draft coming up in a little while. It's a couple months away from that. Combine stuff, nothing very special about that. But that's probably gonna wrap it up. Just want to make you a quick video because we couldn't fit all the new stuff along with the baseball video that we had. So we will try to make another video on Sunday of our podcast. Again, give us ideas if you have anything you want us to talk about or questions you have. We will put down our contact information down the link below. And like always, sub and share this video with other people. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yep, see ya.